Okay, so today I want to talk about two of the biggest spikers from today, which was 27th of February 2018. These two stocks I want to talk about is ZSAN and AKER. Basically going through my thought process as well as price targets and how did I know that they were going to move on up. So let's start with ZSAN, as it was the ripper from the get-go, from the bell. I was alerting this stock or talking about it when it was down around 850. I said ZSAN can still run today if it breaks above 875. Traders fear of missing out might take over and run the stock up, as well as shoulders covering. So I'll talk about that in a minute. Since then, it reached highs of about $10, which is $1.50-ish, give or take 50%, all in a matter of minutes. So that's really a really good turnout. So I started to alert ZSAN. Let me see what time it was. This was at the time's wrong, but it was actually at 9:19. So 10 minutes before the market started opening. Like I said, it was around 8:50, so it had picked up some steam around here. So it had made this initial run up pre-market and reach highs of this 875 area that I was talking about. So when it pulled back down to 825, I knew if it rebroke this 875 area with good volume, it could definitely still run. And so it did, which I also alerted it. Here we go. Broke that 875 area at as soon as the market opened, so at 9:31, around here. So it was still early. It hadn't like reached. I don't like E-Trade 1 minute charts. I don't really use them too much. Let me see if I can find. Here we go. Okay, so the high was 925 and the low was 860. So when it broke this area is when I was typing that, when I was alerting it, and initially it ran up to around that $10 mark. Initially I thought it was gonna be able to run up to $11, but it was looking a little weak at $10, so I had a little pullback, and then it was gonna make its way back on up, and then if it could break through $10 and consistently move on up, then we definitely could have seen $11. But it got stuffed again at $10. As you can see, these upper shadows, which meant, okay, we're a little weak now. It's time to sell, especially after, basically like a $2 rip straight on up. So that's when you would have started selling. Just because I have a price target, doesn't mean it's always going to get there. It might get up there, but eventually you have to be like, okay, you have to face facts, be like, this is looking weak, and that's when you have to sell. So then you saw this big dump back on down. So how did I know this was going to go up? How did I know 875 was the area to break, for these big run-up? Multiple reasons. So let's look at yesterday. Okay. So yesterday, ZSAN was one of the biggest rippers that we have seen in the past few weeks. We haven't seen anything go this ridiculous in a minute. So it went from when it broke out at like 540, 550, ran up all the way to $11. That's a ridiculous move. Obviously before, dumping back on down. So one of my favorite chart patterns in the stock market is a U-shape. As you can see right here, this is a perfect U-shape. So basically, what a U-shape is it relies on buying pressure and shorters covering. So $11 was the top multiple times. You can see here, I know it kind of sucks 1 minute charts on E-Trade, but I'll zoom out a little bit. We can see it was having some trouble, in this area before it started dumping back on down, just like here. So it dumped back on down to around 745. And at this point, people were shorting it. And when they got here, they were like, okay, it definitely slowed down, right? So it's like momentum swinging. When you got here, people were buying. And then when you see it get stuffed right here, people sell and people are gonna short it. So when we went right back down to this move, people here, shorters, are waiting to see if this line can break this bottom support, which was around 740, and if that can break, then they're going to keep holding, see where where it can lead down to. And buyers are also waiting to see what this line does. This support can hold, which it did right here. As you can see, today it was going a lot of green. So at this area right here, I could tell there's a lot of shorters stuck in this play. They could have been short here. So all these shorters are going to need to cover at some point. So that's going to drive the stock up. Plus, I know if it broke that 875 area, that's when buyers are going to come in and move the stock on up, which is why I thought we could have seen that $11 mark again. And so that's what we saw. We saw a huge, U-shape. So I keep talking about this 875 mark, and why is that important? So if we go to stockcharts.com, which is one of my go-to websites to look at stocks, stock charts, we see that the 50-day moving average is around this 875 area. It moved down a little bit today, I think. So you can see, this was yesterday. It ran all the way up above the 50-day moving average, which was a bullish move. But then it fell back down below it, being a bearish move. And so if it could creep its way back up above this area, then, like I said, that's a bullish move, and shorters are going to be scared. And so that's when it started to cover, and that's why it ran up all the way to $10. That being said, we didn't see $11 like I wanted. We just saw $10, which still a decent move. Who's gonna complain if you buy at these lows of $7.50 and it runs all the way to $10? Not many complaints there. And if you see, there's kind of like a triangle being formed here. We're constantly building higher lows. So tomorrow, if we can break this area, so it's 875 again, with volume, we can definitely see another run up. Because people, like I said, are gonna cover here. They're gonna short here, and then they cover, then they're shorting again, and people are keep buying as well. They're gonna move the stock up. And one of the biggest indicators that you're gonna see a breakout is building higher lows. So, like I said, you can see higher lows here. That being said, the stock can definitely still come on down. I wouldn't say dump on down as in like go from $8 to $5. But it can definitely still come back down at least to like 750 this last report for the last 2 days. So just be careful about that. But if it does break 875, it's definitely has good momentum towards it. Secondly, I want to talk about AKER, which is that type of a slow, consistent mover. We have seen a very nice ascending triangle type of play. So this play, I was alerting at 9:34. I was busy with ZSAN, so I haven't put much attention to it. But before that, I said AKER needs to break 67 cents, which is pre-market highs to run. This was like right at the bell when I set this. So we got to today. Market's on. Let's see. Okay, so this was the pre-market. Everything before this line was pre-market. So this is a 67 mark. I said I needed to break, which it did, like around 9:40 or a little bit up to like 9:30. So I did break it, and you can see we went back on down. We started to hold that previous high, which has now become support, 67 cents. came on up again, went back down to that support line, 67 cents, that held again, and then just slowly made a move back to 80 cents. So I said, here we go. I say a huge roll of sellers at 70 cents. However, if this breaks, this will continue to run. I keep a stop loss at 67 cents. As that support line breaks, it will fall. So this is a 67 cent line that I was talking about. As you can see, it's a very strong support at this moment. It held up at pre-market highs. So once it broke that, that became the new support. We touched it once, twice, even 3 times. So that's holding very nicely. And so that 67 or the 70 cent resistance that I was talking about was around this area. It needed to break it in order to keep running on up, which it did. So in this area is when I was saying you can hold and just wait, see where it goes. If it breaks 70 cents, just ride it on up. If it breaks 67 cents, just get out. So it broke it and we kept on running, so that's good. What else was I saying? Here we go. So this is when it broke out. I said it can like a possible slow climb to 82 cents. So this was like long term for the day. I was like, I could see a highs of 82 cents in the day. When was I saying this? At 9:32 in the market. So from this moment, I could tell you the highs I could see this going today was 82 cents. And what do you know? It ran up to 80 cents. Like I said, not just because I put up a price target does not mean it's always going to get there. It might get close. It might not. It might even be above it, but it's around there. And I'm showing you a bit how I saw about that. So that ran up nicely. So we go back to my faithful stock charts, AKER. You can see the 200-day moving average. What's it at? To 82 cents, which is how I was able to see that's where we were going to head. And more than just this line telling me 82 cents, if you follow this line, it's like 82 cents. You can see the cursor. You can see it was this high right here. It like turned around after hitting 82 cents ish before coming back on down. And if you keep going, you can see how there's a lot of like candles right around this area. So that's going to be, heavy resistance. And after such a big move from 65 cents ish, going straight up to 82 cents, that's a big move, with a penny stock. So that I could see that being a turning point, which it was. And when it dumped back on down, I saw a bounce at, which area? That's right, 67 cents. The area that held this resistance before and support 2 times. That's when I could see a bounce, and it did bounce from 67 cents all the way to around 76 cents. So 8-cent bounce of that dump from the highs. So this was like an initial sell target, which many people did sell. Obviously, that's why it bounced down. And this was a bounce, buy alert. So I didn't alert this because I was busy with other stuff, but you could clearly see how this was a nice bounce area off support. So yeah, that's a quick recap on how I knew these 2 stocks were going to head on up. So future projections. Let me see. If you can see AKER, it's kind of like a trend line. If you could draw like a straight line through it, like this, it always spikes, but then kind of comes back on down. And then spike kind of comes back on down, like an ascending triangle pattern. So you see this initial spike. I can see 82 cents holding up as support for a while. So I can see this coming back on down, maybe to around like above 60 cents. Just like if I can draw it out, it'd be like this, 60 cents, and then move on up. If we continue to have a good hype, good volume, great momentum, good news would be even better. Maybe we can see the stock moving on up. If we can see the stock break $1 in the future, then that would be a big move. We can see $1. You can see last time it broke $1, it went all the way to, was that $2 almost? Yeah, so if we can see a $1 break in the future, it can definitely go on up. But we haven't seen a ridiculous pullback on a daily chart, or not ridiculous, but convincing pullback, I would say. It's been bullish for the past like 2 months, so yeah, that's something to look forward to. And for ZSAN, you can see this doji star here below the 50-day moving average, which is a bearish move, and the and the chart shows the doji star, which is another bearish indicator. So I would not be surprised if we see this stock head back on down a little bit. Like I was saying, where is it at? Here we go. I could see this going back down a little bit. I don't know how low it will go. It might just go back to 740. But if this 740 line breaks, then we have room to free fall in between here. You can see there's nothing really holding it up. Maybe $7 will hold it up a little bit, but that's not too far from 740. So I mean, we'll just have to see how how it plays out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry this video took a little too long, more than I wanted, but just something I wanted to show you guys. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know. Be sure to follow my Twitter and StockTwits account. I put a lot of my thoughts in there. It's completely free. And I would never say just follow my alerts, always make sure it makes sense what I'm saying. Make sure you see what I'm saying. If I say, it can go up to 11, don't just buy and put a sell order 11 and just go away. No, you want to stay your screen, see the price action, see the level 2s. Because it was a clear indicator this was a sell at $10. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the not too quick recap, but how these stocks are predictable to some extent.